Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I will demonstrate how to draft, cut and sew a loose-fitting dartless kimono shirt with a bishop collar. Hi, my name is Ayo and welcome to 011 Clothings Tutorials. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you! I'll be working with the following items: tape measure, paper, scissors. Ideally, a pencil should be used to draft a pattern, or for tutorial purpose, I'll be using this marker pen, calculator, rulers and curves, pattern paper. I will work with the following measurements: bust circumference 39 inches, waist circumference 35 inches, hip circumference 43 inches, shoulder to shoulder measurement 16 inches, shoulder to waistline 18 inches, blouse length 27 inches, sleeve length 7 inches. I have here this pattern paper that I've already laid out on the table, and I've already drawn 2 inches margin at the top and on the left hand side of the pattern paper. I will now go ahead and draw a rectangular box that will accommodate both the front and the back patterns, as I'll be drawing both of them together within this rectangular box. To know the width of the rectangular box, I will find the largest measurement between my bust, my waist and my hip circumference measurements. In this case, it is my hip circumference measurement, which is 43 inches. I will now calculate my hip circumference divided by 2 plus 3 inches for ease, and this is 39 divided by 2 plus 3, and this is equal to 24.5 inches. I will measure and mark 24.5 inches like this. I will now draw a vertical line downwards like this. As for the length of the rectangular box, the length will be the blouse length, which is 27 inches. So from the upper starting margin, I will measure and mark 27 inches like this. And then I will draw a horizontal line across. Next, I will divide the rectangular box into 2 equal halves vertically like this. This side will be the center front, while this other side will be the center back. From the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 1.5 inches for the front shoulder line, and I will square a horizontal line across. Next, I will measure and mark 1 inch from the upper starting line for the back shoulder line, and I will square a horizontal line across. Next, I will calculate the armhole depth using the formula bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, and this is 39 divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is equal to 8 inches. I can measure this 8 inches from the front shoulder line or from the back shoulder line downwards. I will measure mine from the front shoulder line downwards. And this gave me a total length of 9.5 inches for from the upper starting line. I will now measure and mark this 9.5 inches from the upper starting line at the center front and also at the center back. And I will now square a horizontal line across. This line is the armhole line. My shoulder to waistline measurement is 18 inches. So from the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 18 inches like this. And I will square a horizontal line across. This line is the waistline. For the front neckline, I will use a value of 3 inches by 3 inches, and using a French curve, I will now draw the front neckline curve. For the back neckline curve, I will use a value of 3 inches by 1 inch. Also using a French curve, I will now draw the back neckline curve like this. Next, I will divide my shoulder to shoulder measurement by 2, and this is 16 inches divided by 2, and this is equal to 8 inches. So on the front shoulder line, I will measure and mark 8 inches like this, starting from the center front. Also on the back shoulder line, I will measure and mark 8 inches like this, starting from the center back. I will now connect these 2 points together like this to give me the front and the back shoulder lines. I will also go ahead and measure these 8 inches on the armhole line, starting from the center front and also the center back. I will now connect these points together vertically with broken lines like this. Next, I will calculate my bust circumference plus 4 inches for ease divided by 4. I'm using 4 inches for the ease because this blouse is dartless. You can reduce this, but do not use anything less than 2 inches unless you intend to introduce a dart to the pattern. This is 39 inches plus 4 divided by 4, and this is equal to 10.75 inches. So on the armhole line, I will measure and mark 10.75 inches like this, starting from the center front and also the center back. Next, I will calculate my waist circumference plus 4 inches for ease divided by 4. As you can see, I'm also using this same 4 inches for the ease on the waistline, and this is 35 plus 4 divided by 4, and this is equal to 9.75 inches. So on the waistline, I will measure and mark 9.75 inches, starting from the center front and also the center back. Next, I will calculate my hip circumference plus 4 inches for ease divided by 4, and this is 43 plus 4 divided by 4, and this is equal to 11.75 inches. So at the end of the pattern, which is also where my hip line is, I will measure and mark 11.75 inches, starting from the center front and also the center back. I will now connect these points together to give me the side seams of the patterns. To create the front armhole curve, I will measure and mark 3 inches upwards from the armhole line on the broken line. From this 3-inch point, I will go in by 3/4 of an inch. I will now connect these 2 points together with a ruler. I will now curve the lower part of the armhole curve like this using a French curve. For the back pattern, I will locate and mark the middle point on the broken line like this. From this middle point, I will go in by 1/2 inch. I will now connect these 2 points together like this with a ruler. Using the French curve, I will now curve the lower part of the armhole curve like this. I will now move over to the hem. At the front and the back side seams, I will measure and mark 1 inch above the hem like this. At the center front and the center back, I will come down by 1 inch. I will now go ahead and curve the hem of the front and the back patterns like this. Next, I will add 1 inch button stand to the center front of the front pattern like this. Starting from the center front, on the front neckline curve, I will measure and mark 1 inch like this. From the base of the front neckline, I will come down by 4 inches and I will mark the 4 inch point. I will now connect these 2 points together like this. I will also connect this point to the button stand like this. I will now go ahead and cut out the front and the back patterns. The center back will be cut on fold on the fabric. Next, I will go ahead and create the kimono sleeve on the shirt. But first, I will add extra pattern paper around the armhole of the patterns. So now, as you can see, I have fixed the extra paper around the armhole, and this is the original armhole of the front pattern. I will now extend the shoulders beyond the armhole like this. The sleeve length that I want for the blouse is 7 inches. So from the shoulder tip, I will measure and mark 7 inches like this. From the 7 inch point, I will come down by 1 inch like this. Using my French curve, I will now bring down the shoulder line like this. At the base of the armhole curve, I will come down by 1.5 inches like this. I will also come down by another 1.5 inches again. I will extend this first 1.5 inch point outwards like this by 2 inches, and I will square a horizontal line across. I will now connect these 2 points together with a curve like this. I will also connect these 2 points together with a ruler. I will now cut it out. I will now repeat the exact same thing for the back pattern as well. Next, I will draw the front neckline facing that is just 1 inch wide. So I will measure and mark the 1 inch starting from the shoulders. I'll connect it to the button stand like this using my curve. I will now trace out the front facing on another pattern paper like this using a tracing wheel. I will make the tracing bolder like this using my marker pen, ruler and French curve. I will now cut out the facing pattern like this. This is the back pattern. I will also go ahead to draw out a neckline facing that is just 1 inch wide. I will trace it out on another pattern paper like this using a tracing wheel. I will make the tracing bolder using my marker pen and French curve like this. I will now cut it out. So these are the front and the back neckline facings. These are the back and the front pattern pieces. So as to draft the bishop collar for this blouse, I will place the front and the back pattern pieces together like this, such that the neck points touch each other. I will now measure all around the front and the back necklines like this. And this gave me a value of 7 inches. I will now go ahead and draft the bishop collar on this pattern paper. I will draw a margin of about 2 inches at the lower part and also on the left hand side of the pattern paper. I will now measure and mark 7 inches like this. This 7 inches is the length of the front and the back neckline curves. I will draw a vertical line upwards like this from the 7 inch point. I will now measure and mark 1.5 inches like this on both sides, and this is the width of the bishop collar. I will now connect these 2 points together like this using my ruler. I will curve the outer edge of the collar like this using my French curve. From the outer edge of the collar, I will measure and mark 2 inches at the lower part of the collar like this, and I will draw a vertical line upwards. At the top edge of the collar, I will measure and mark 1/4 of an inch away from the 2 inch line. I will now connect it to the lower part of the 2 inch line like this to form a tiny dart. I will now cut out the bishop collar pattern like this. I will close the tiny dart like this, and I will sellotape it in place. I will label the upper part and the lower part of the collar so as to avoid confusion when sewing. These are all the pattern pieces needed to make the dartless loose-fitting kimono shirt with a bishop collar. Stay tuned for my next tutorial where I will cut and sew these pattern pieces on my fabric. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share this video with your friends who are interested in sewing, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. See you in my next tutorial. Bye and thank you. for watching.